No, yeah, uh, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are watching from. As long as you want to write Jamb 2026, if you are among people that are going to write Jamb 2026, and some of you that have written today, sorry, yesterday, some of you that have written yesterday, can you just drop some of the question you come across, because we are going to answer it. It will also help you to know if you got those answers correct. And if you still have other friends who are writing today being 17th and the other days that are coming, because exam are going to end on 25th of this month, April 2026. So if you know any of your friends who have not written or who is writing jam, share this live stream now. Begin to like, begin to share, subscribe, because we are going to do many things tonight. What you are going to do for you to pass your jam in this 2026, you have no time. Don't sleep if you are sleeping now. If you are writing jam, please do not sleep. That's why I said I'm not going to sleep. I have to invite one of the jambites, okay, to come over here and we are together. You can see him, okay. Say hi to
Hi.
my people over there. So pay attention. You are going to watch us explain everything: biology, chemistry, physics, use of English. For those of you that are going for medicine and surgery, nursing, med lab, engineering, it will help you. Let's keep it like this. Okay. Feel free to ask your questions, okay? Feel free to ask your questions.
It's vitamin.
Which one do you say is the- mm, vitamin?
We have
You
the
go raise your voice. Oh.
their
Pay
class
attention. Oh. We are
their
talking
class
about vitamins in biology.
and it is classified into two. We have water soluble vitamin and
Okay.
fat soluble vitamin.
Okay.
Under fat soluble vitamin, we use an abbreviation to represent it known as ADEK, ADEK, which is
Okay.
vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Talking of vitamin A,
Okay.
it is responsible for vision, that is about the eyes.
The eyes.
Vitamin D, it acts as a vitamin or it also acts as a hormone and also a vitamin. So it is only the vitamin that acts as hormone and vitamin. And it is responsible for the strong of the bone, and also anything that is concerning fertility, it is also determined by vitamin D. We have vitamin E, which is known as the immune response. It is the vitamin D that helps in the immune response. And
Okay.
vitamin K, and that vitamin K, it helps in blood clotting. Some students find it difficult to determine the meaning of blood clotting and wound healing. It is vitamin K that enables the wound, that stops blood. That is, it helps in blood clotting. Why water soluble vitamin? It is vitamin B complex, which includes vitamin B1, vitamin B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12 are some of their names.
Okay.
In vitamin C, it helps in wound healing. That is why I was
Okay.
saying
The
that,
vitamin C helps in
yes,
wound
in
healing.
wound healing. That's why I was saying that one thing is to heal wound and another thing is to stop bleeding. It is the vitamin K, in fat soluble vitamin, that helps in blood clotting, which helps to stop the blood from floating.
So I want to ask, for instance, if someone injured himself accidentally, is it and blood will begin to come out?
When he
Is it
injured
the
himself, when
okay?
someone injured himself, it is
Okay.
the vitamin K that will helps to stop the blood from coming out, while vitamin C is responsible for the healing of the wound.
Okay.
So why in vitamin B6, it helps in metabolism, and vitamin B7 helps in development of the brain, and the deficiency in B3 causes pellagra. Why deficiency in in B1 causes beriberi.
Okay. That means absence of vitamin
B1
B1
causes
causes
beriberi.
beriberi. Okay. The one that's
When you lack it,
uh, it will make your throat or neck to,
um,
begin to expand. Okay. Can you will say something about evolution? I want to ask the man that the man that said the man that list used and disuse
of
and the
evolution.
of evolution and that the laws sorry the theories, and the second one he said the um, inheritance of the traits.
Yes,
Who is the person that says so?
Lamarck states two theory. The
Mhm.
first one is the theory of use and disuse of body parts.
Of body parts.
Yes, while the second one is the theory of acquired of inheritance traits. That
Okay.
place it further explain that an giraffe stretching its neck to get its food from a tree is hereby transferred its gene or its characteristics to its younger ones.
Okay. Okay. Um, can you say something about blood, about arteries, veins, and capillaries?
Yes, an actress carries oxygenated blood from the heart, but
Okay.
it is not all actress that carry oxygenated blood from the heart. But the one that does not
Okay.
carry oxygenated blood from the heart is pulmonary actress.
There's pulmonary arteries, the one
Yes,
that doesn't
doesn't
carry
carry
oxygenated.
the oxygenated blood from the heart.
Okay.
Why the vein is responsible for carrying oxygenated blood to the heart,
Okay.
but except pulmonary vein.
Okay.
But we have some of the vena cava that carries blood to the upper part of the body, which is known as the superior vena
Are you
cava.
guys listening? Feel free to ask your questions. Okay.
We have the superior vena cava, which helps to carry oxygenated blood from the upper parts of the body, where we have the inferior vena cava, which
Okay.
carries oxygenated blood to the lower part of the body.
Okay. Can you answer this question? They said the heart of the adult frog consists of dash A, two auricles and two ventricles, B, one auricle and one ventricle, C, two ventricles and one auricles, D, one ventricle and two auricles. Which one is the
It
correct
is
answer?
it is two utricles, arteries, and one vein, because in a kingdom the animals are classified to
Which
has
kingdom does frog belong to?
it belongs to annelids. So mammals are classified to have four chambers, and birds, which is known as the owls, are classified to have four chambers.
Okay.
One, two arteries, two veins, two arteries, two veins for the birds and for the mammals. But coming to reptiles, reptiles have coming to fishes. Fishes has two arteries and one vein, and amphibian have arteries and two veins. And the frog belongs to amphibian, which means it's going to have two arteries and one vein.
Okay. What is the evidence that tooth is a living part of the mammalian body? Is it because it's have pulp cavity? Is it because it's have gum? Is it because it have cement? Is it because it have an enema?
It is because of the pulp cavity.
Okay.
It is the pulp cavity that determines that it.
They said the vitamin, you say something about vitamin. The vitamin which is important in the formation of the retinal pigment is dash.
When you're talking about retina, you are referring about the eyes.
Okay.
So, and vitamin A is responsible for the eyes.
Vision. That
That
is
is for
for
vision.
okay.
So, and retina is referring to the eyes. That means vitamin A is going to be the answer.
Okay. That is very correct. Okay. We talk about the incisor is two
Yes,
over one.
when we are talking about the teeth of mammalian, herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous,
Okay.
the teeth of carnivorous, it is only the omnivorous that do not has the canines,
Okay.
because they don't tear, they only eat on grasses, so they do not have there is no need for having the canal, because it is only carnivorous and the omnivorous that needs the canals to be for tearing of the flesh. So the herbivorous do not feed on flesh
What's the function of canine?
for tearing of flesh.
Okay. So which animals doesn't have canine?
When we are referring to those animals that don't have canal, it is only the omnivore that does not have canal. But for carnivore, they have canal. The omnivore, they have canal. And it's,
An omnivore. You said that an omnivore have, yes. Because
yes,
omnivore is for human being,
yes, they have.
herbivores, carnivores. Herbivores, you say that herbivores are the animals that eat on grasses. That
Yes,
should be sheep,
goats.
goats.
Yes,
Those ones doesn't have canines because canines is a type of teeth that is responsible for
tearing of
tearing
flesh.
of flesh.
And in herbivores like goats, they don't depend on flesh.
Okay,
They depend on plants.
okay. So how many ribs does adult human being have?
Ribs. They
Yes.
have 22 ribs.
Adult human being have 22 ribs. 22 ribs.
Yes.
Okay. Can you distinguish them? Like, we have cervical, we have thoracic, we have coda, we have what again do we have?
We have cervical,
Uh-huh,
thoracic,
uh-huh,
cordia,
cordia
and lumbia.
and lumbia. Okay. Um, what are the ribs that are the same in number for all those organisms?
Cervical is 12 in number.
Okay, they are 12 in number.
Yes.
No, they're not 12 in numbers. It's thoracic.
Okay.
Thoracic are 12 in number, while cervical is 7. This cervical is generally number to all those animals. Other animals like rats, rabbits, they have the same
Yes.
number of.
Cervical is the bone of the neck. So there are 7 in numbers. They are located at the neck. That is the neck bone. While
Okay,
thoracic is the chest bone, and they are
yes,
12 in number.
and they are 12 in number.
And lumbar,
Yes,
they are 5 in
in
number,
number.
and they are located at the abdomen.
Abdomen,
While the sacral is
the
5 in
sacral,
number,
5 in numbers.
and they are located at the waist.
Okay,
But cordia, they are located at the tail, and they are 4, which is making it 22.
okay,
But some of mammals like man doesn't have tail, so they cannot be classified as there is a presence of what is called canal cervical ribs
okay.
in mammals, in those that don't have tail.
What can we call a
But in those type of ribs, we have true ribs and false rib. Under the true ribs,
okay,
they are from 1 to 7, and the false rib is from 8 to 11, while the floating rib is from 11 to 12.
okay. So, what are the examples of talophytes in plant kingdom?
Talophytes,
Yes, examples of talophytes,
algae, fungi, and lichen.
algae, fungi, and lichen. So, what are the examples of bryophytes in plant kingdom?
Bryophytes, mosses, and liverworts.
Mosses and liverworts. That is very correct. What are the examples of pteridophyta in plant kingdom?
That is pteridophyta. We have an example like, because pteridophyta is classified into two, and the first one angiosperm and gymnosperm.
No,
No,
that
that
should
is
be wrong.
spermatophyta. That is spermatophyta.
Pteridophyta, you're talking about the fence. That's examples of
Fence.
fence.
Yeah, yeah. But a
What
spermatophyte,
is spermatophyta? That's the
you
last
you
classification
you
of
see the
plant kingdom.
angiosperm and gymnosperm, and under
Yes.
the gymnosperm you locate the monocot and the dicot. The monocot plants and dicot plants. And under the monocots, they are the monocots are regarded as one seed plants, while
Yes. When you're talking about monocot, you are referring
to one seed
one
leaf,
seed.
and it has a parallel venation,
Okay.
and it is scattered vascular bond, that is the phylum and the xylem and the phloem, and it has a fibrous root. But in dicot, they have net venation, they have two seed leaf, and they have tap roots instead of fibrous roots.
Okay. Answer this question. Transpiration can be measured with dash. This question is talking about an instrument used to measure transpiration. You know, transpiration occurs in plants.
Yes.
Okay, they said transpiration can be measured with a dash what? A said photometer, B said hygrometer, C said potometer, D said barometer.
When you're talking about transpiration, what's supposed to come to your mind is potometer, because the instrument used for measuring transpiration is potometer. And that is the answer.
Hope you people are learning. We are talking about transpiration, and whenever you're talking about transpiration, you are referring to plant kingdom. So here they are talking about instruments used to measure transpiration, and the correct answer is potometer. That is an instrument used to measure transpiration. Okay, we go on. Okay, what is the veins that? Sorry, what is the organs that carry blood into the heart?
That is the arteries.
Into the heart.
That is pulmonary arteries.
No, the veins.
Okay, in veins,
The one
that
that
is
carry blood away from the heart.
is the vein.
The cap- the arteries. The arteries carries
That
blood
carry
away from the heart.
oxygenated blood from the
The
heart.
veins carry blood into the heart.
Yeah.
So, what do you understand by okay, red red blood cells are produced in where? No answer.
Yeah.
Red blood cells are produced in bone marrow. Yes, that is where red blood cells are produced. And that name of red blood cells are called the erythrocytes, while the white blood cells are called
Lymphocyte.
leukocytes. Okay, okay. What are the sense organs? What are the sense organs? The the skins, the eyes,
The ear
the ear.
and the tongue.
Oh, okay. What's another name of pituitary glands?
Pituitary gland is the pituitary gland is known as those glands that is located above the head. It is also known as It circulates the hormone known
It's also
as
called the master's gland, responsible for emergency.
emergency hormone.
Responsible for emergency because yeah, the master's gland because it helps in emergency during any external attack or within the body. For instance, if 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 there is if there is a female and a man that come together, and if there is any interaction between two of them, there is how the interaction will continue to prolong. You know, some of the organs that will begin to react, they are going to send the signals to the pituitary gland. Okay, okay, the brain is divided into how many?
These were three parts. We have the
Name them.
forebrain, the hindbrain, and the midbrain.
Okay, that is very correct. That is very correct. Okay. The another question, they said this question said, which of the following elements are necessary for the formation of chlorophyll? You know, when you are referring to chlorophyll, you are referring to greenish plants. You are referring to plants that are green in color, that do with photosynthesis. Yes, they use sun to trap their own energy. Is it charging? If you love what we are doing here, please help us to share the live stream. Tag your friends to join us, especially those of you that haven't written jam. If you're expecting to write jam today, 7:30, 9 o'clock, 2, 4, depending the time you have your own, pay very, very attention and feel free to ask your own questions. And for those of you that have written yesterday, can you just tell us the type of questions you come across, either biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and the use of English? We are waiting to answer you. Okay, you can go on and ask your questions. Okay, before you ask your own questions, I want to ask. This question says, um, the vein which returns blood from the head and arms to the heart is called, A said aorta, B said inferior vena cava, C said superior vena cava, D said pulmonary vein. Which one is the correct answer?
The answer is superior vena cava
Okay.
because it is responsible for the carrying of blood above the body part, while in the down part of the body, you talk about the inferior vena cava. It is responsible for the carrying of blood in the lower part of the body.
That is very correct. And the last question before you ask yours. You said if the gallbladder of a mama is damaged, if the gallbladder, when can you see a gallbladder? When can you find a gallbladder in a human being?
Normally, a gallbladder is used for storing fat and oil, and when a gallbladder is damaged in mama, the storage of fat and oil will be affected. So there cannot
That
be
is the digestion of
oxygen.
fat and oil will be affected.
That's
You
it.
have already answered the questions. That's very correct. Okay. I'm waiting for your own questions before we can now enter chemistry. Ask me, I will answer you. I will ask you, you answer me. That is bomber to bomber we are going to do now. Ask me any question in biology. Just ask me one by one, one. One question. I'll throw my answer. I'm waiting for hear from you, sir. Okay, ask your own question now. Hope you are with your own biology this thing. You can use it. You can use it and ask me.
The filaments of spirogyra were put into equal volumes of sugar solution X and Y. After 5 minutes, filaments from solution X had their cell contents round up, while those of Y were unaffected. The experiment shows dash A solution X solution X was stronger than Y. B solution Y was stronger than X. C spirogyra used up the sugar in the solution X. And D solution X is good for stimulating sexual reproduction in spirogyra.
Can you repeat only the question?
The filaments of spirogyra were put into equal volumes of sugar solution X and Y. After 5 minutes, filaments from solution X had their cell contents round up, while those of Y were unaffected.
The correct answer should be A. The the the
Solution
solution
X
X is
was
stronger
stronger than
than
Y.
Y.
That is correct. Reason because when Y is unaffected,
Well,
that
yes,
means X is already
X
stronger than
is
Y
stronger. Yes,
because
it's
it is
very
the
stronger
only
than
one
Y.
that reacted.
Yes. Which of the following phyla have members with both internal and external segmentation? I repeat, which of the following phyla have members with both internal and external segments? A. Platyrmys. B. Nematode. C. Annelida. D. Mollusca.
Repeat the options.
Which of the following phyla have members with both internal and external segmentation? A. Platyrmys. B. Nematoda. C. Annelida. D. Mollusca.
The answer is nematoda.
Annelida.
Annelida.
Yes. That is Annelida is a phyla which is a member of phyla which have both internal and external segmentation. You know what I mean by segmentation? If it is a tree, you will see branches. All those branches, you know, when you see what would I say, insects, again, if you see, for instance, you see, crab now. Crab. When you see crab, you see you have many segments. You have many segmentation. The one for walking, the eyes, all those things. So these are the segmentation. You can ask yours.
The which of the following is a waste product in insects? Which of the following is a waste product in insects? A uric acid, B sweet, D alkaloids, and D molasses.
Repeat the question.
Which of the following is a waste product of an insect?
Okay.
A uric acid, B sweet, C mucilage, and D alkaloids.
Okay. The waste product of insects is uric acid.
That's correct.
When you're talking about waste product, you are referring to catabolism. No, sorry, you are referring to metabolism, because catabolism is a process of breaking down of food particles in the body, while metabolism is the process of removing waste products out of the body. Okay, what is pollination?
It's a situation by which an insect perches on the anther and then takes it to the stigma in order for fertilization to take place.
Okay, that's very correct. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from the stigma,
From the anther to the
from
stigma.
sorry, from the anther to the stigma. Yes, it's transfer from. Okay, then ask yours.
Excess water in plants is exceeded as water vapor
Excess water in plants is exceeded in as water vapor.
and droplets respectively through dash. A. The prolongation and glutation. B. Transpiration and glutation. C. Photosynthesis and glutation. D. Glutation and condensation.
The answer is B, transpiration and glutation, because water, plants vapor uses what is called transpiration, the one that helps to circulate. If it is human being, you say we talk about the heart and the veins, the arteries, the capillaries. The transpiration has to do with transferring of it helps in transferring of cells or organs in the body of plants. Then glutation, that one has to do with water molecules. That has to do with water molecules. Okay. Okay. Another question that what do you understand by the term of osmosis?
Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration until they are easily distributed.
I think you are wrong. That should be a definition that should be found now. Osmosis starts from lower to the higher. Why the division start from the big from the smaller to the bigger. For instance, when I'm talking about amphibians uses osmosis to diffuses inside water and evaporation outside of the water. Examples of animals that live or examples of organisms that live both on terrestrial and aquatic.
That's when you talk about the toads, the frogs. That is the amphibians.
Okay, that is very correct. Ask yours.
The flower showing a radiant symmetry is said to be dash.
The flower. Can you repeat the
Showing
question?
a flower showing a radiant symmetry is said to be dash. A. Pentamorous. B. Protandrous. C. Protogenous. And D. Antinomorphic.
Pan, you say panty.
Antinomorphic.
That should be protogenous.
Is antinomorphic.
Antinomorphic.
Yes. A flower that is radiant symmetry is
That's more.
said to be antinomorphic.
Okay. Can you um what are the organ that tapeworm uses
It
to
is the hook
hook
and the
and
sucker.
okay,
It is the hook and sucker. It is
yes,
It is the type. It is the part that is responsible for the sucking of blood in the human particles, and it is located at this large intestine in the human body.
okay, that's the place you find the tapeworm. And another name of tapeworm is Tinea solum. Okay, ask.
The seedling that is grown in dark is likely to be dash. A. Etiolated. B. Dominant. C. Sturdy. And D. Stunted.
It will be stunted.
When a seedling is said to be grown in dark, that means the seedling automatically lack chlorophyll. It will be etiolated
Yes,
because
yes, yes,
it will be trying to skip out from the dark to where there
yes,
is sunlight in order to get
yes.
chlorophyll. And at that point, it will lose its strength and thereby becomes more etiolated.
Okay. What is the um question is a very powerful question. Very, very powerful that you can't see it, you will escape it. You must ask this question. Hmm, I'm coming to Athena. After three questions, we now enter chemistry. No, we go and sharp sharp. Then, what again? Is it?
So we are not going to do calculation in chemistry for now.
Yeah. We're not going to do. We just ask what we are doing online is theory. Just be asking question and answer. So, okay. Let me just ask this one. The role of the Golgi complex in a eukaryotic cell is to dash. I repeat, the role of the Golgi complex in a eukaryotic cell is to dash. A. Conduct ions in and out of the cell. B. Transport genetics materials out of the cell. C. Provide attachment for ribosoma. D. Transport organic materials and out of the cell. What is the role of Golgi bond in complex nucleic cell?
Repeat the options.
The option says, is it to conduct ions in and out of the cell? B. Transport genetic materials out of the cell. C. Provide attachment for ribosome.
It provides attachment for the
No. Transport organic materials out of the cell. That is the role of Golgi complex in a eukaryotic cell. Okay, answer yours. Remaining two questions now.
The dwarf plant can be stimulated to grow to normal height by the application of dash. That is plant hormone. Under plant hormone.
Under plant hormone.
Yeah. A dwarf
Okay.
plant can be stimulated to grow normal height by the application of dash. A. Tyrosine. B. Gibberellin. C. Insulin. And D. Quinine.
Repeat the option.
A. Cytokinin. B. Gibberellin. C. Quinine. And D. Insulin.
That should be A.
A is tyrosine. The answer is B. Gibberellin. When you're talking about dwarf plants, in order to make it grow to a normal height, you apply gibberellin. But when you're talking about the ripening of fruit, you apply ethylene.
Okay. Okay. Last question. Mm, I've seen the question. This one is very powerful. The structures that prevents food particles from escaping through the fish gills. What's the
That is
function
the
of what's the
racas.
function of
It's the
gills
racas.
in fish?
Gills in fish helps in exchange, gaseous exchange. And in those gills, it is further divided into three. We have the racas, we have the sac,
Okay.
and we have the filament.
Okay.
The racas is responsible from holding particles in and out of the fish gills.
So that it will not escape
Yes,
through the gills.
while the filament helps in oxygen, and the sac is the brush-like structure of the fish gill.
Okay, answer your last question.
Ecology factor that will have the most limiting effect on abundance of phytoplankton in turgid pond. I repeat, an ecology factor that will have the most limiting effect on abundance of phytoplankton in the turgid pond is A. pH, B. Oxygen, C. Light, and D. Temperature.
Repeat the option only.
A. pH, B. Oxygen, C. Light, and D. Temperature.
I think the answer is
Light.
light. Because absence of light will cause
There will be effects on abundance factor.
black effect on abundance factors. Okay. We are going. Remaining chemistry. Look for chemistry. Can you measure 5 separation techniques in chemistry?
we have separation techniques, we have fractional distillation. But in fractional distillation, you use fractional distillation when the boiling point is far, but you use simple distillation when the boiling point is close. And we use neutralization when a compound involves acid. That is when you're going to use neutralization. But a hard compound like salt, you use crystallization reaction.
Okay. What is hmm, what is what is what is organic chemistry?
Is the chemistry that involves about the organic particulate of matter.
Come again.
Is a type of chemistry, organic chemistry, is a type of chemistry that explains carbons and its compounds.
Okay, that's very correct. Organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry that talk about carbon and its compound, how carbon calculates and its compound. The longest the question I want to ask concerning that. Ask your own. I will look for that question. This man will answer that question here. Oh, this place. Okay, this question said the presence of an impurity in a substance will cause the melting point to dash.
It will cause it to reduce.
Okay. When there is a presence of impurities in a substance, it will make the substance to reduce. Remember, if you see this kind of question in hall in your system, it's just like a bonus question. You are seeing the presence of an impurity in a substance. You don't need to read the option.
Because
Just look for the one that have reduce and click. You are good to go. I wish you success. You are going to score high. Not only scoring high, you are going to get admission to your professional course. Continue to pay attention. You will learn more. What other questions do you want to ask? Are you with your chemistry now?
the properties of a pure a pure water.
Properties of pure water.
Yes. Its boiling point will be sharp and definite. Two
It
is
will
that
be
it has a definite boiling point and
yes.
it has a definite melting point.
Okay. And their symbol is H2O,
Yeah.
comprising of two molecules, hydrogen and water. Two hydrogen and one water. What is which of the following substance is not a homogeneous mixture? A water, B filter, C food water, D soft drink.
It's flowed water because when you're talking about homogeneous mixture, We are talking about those mixture that has only one color. So the answer is flood water because flood water doesn't have a definite color.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to physics. Then we are going to use English and summarize it.